one of the great things about a series is that once you've been able to determine a series which converges to a function, whether it's on an interval or all real numbers or just at that point, you can modify that series and use the modifications to come up with another series which will converge over the corresponding interval. And there are 4 common series that you need to have ready to go for the AP exam. Right? The first one is the series for e to the x. And the reason why is because all of our derivatives are quite easy to find. All right? And if the function is e to the x, well, guess what all of our derivatives are going to be as well. All right? Well, it doesn't matter how many orders we go through, we're always going to have a derivative of e to the x. Now we're interested in Maclaurin series, which means we're interested when x is equal to 0. So when we plug in 0 into our function and all of our values, we get 1s. So now we can build our series, all right? Because we know that the Maclaurin series for e to the x will be f of 0, which is 1, plus f prime of 0 times x, 1 times x, plus, now we go to f double prime of 0, which happens to be 1 again, times x squared over 2 factorial. Well, 1 times anything is itself, so we have x squared over 2 factorial. Now we go to our next term. We need our third derivative. Oh, look at that. At 0, once again, it's 1. So we end up having 1 times x cubed over 3 factorial. And you can see the pattern that's going to happen here. Our next term is x to the 4th over 4 factorial, so on and so forth. And in general, we have x to the nth over n factorial. That is the Maclaurin series for e to the x. All right? Now we want to be ready to have that at a moment's notice. If you don't have it, no big deal. You can always build it. It didn't take us all that long to build it. You can certainly build it at any time. But if you have it ready to go, then it just saves you time on the exam. And that time's going to become important because they're not going to ask you so much about e to the x, but they might ask you about some of the future examples that you'll see where it's e to some inner function. All right.